Hey, future civil servants, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive? Today, we're tackling a topic that's basically a guaranteed appearance in your UPSC exams.
Absolutely, a topic you can't ignore.
India's semiconductor ambitions.
That's right. And if you're serious about shaping India's future, this is a sector you need to understand inside and out.
Especially for both mains and prelims, right?
Absolutely.
Both. So today, we're zeroing in on a recent development that could be a total game changer for India.
A potential game changer. Yeah,
A possible collaboration with Singapore.
big implications there.
We'll be pulling our insights from a recent article in The Hindu. So get ready to break down the key facts, analyze the challenges, and really explore all the amazing opportunities.
It's an exciting area with huge potential.
So before we get into the specifics of this collaboration, let's do a quick recap. What exactly are semiconductors? Why are they such a big deal?
Well, think of them as the tiny brains behind all our electronics. Smartphones, laptops, cars, even defense systems, they all rely on these tiny chips.
They're the control centers of modern tech, basically.
Exactly. They process information, enable functionality. It's all about semiconductors these days.
And when it comes to semiconductors, India's market is enormous. What kind of numbers are we looking at here?
Massive. India's semiconductor market is projected to hit a mind-blowing USD 271.9 billion
Wow.
by 2032. That kind of growth puts India on the map as a serious player.
That's a huge market. But I know there's a bit of a but here.
There is.
What's the catch?
Well, right now, India imports a lot more semiconductor devices than it exports.
So we're not producing enough domestically to meet the demand.
Exactly. To give you an idea of the gap, in 2022, India imported about $5.36 billion worth of semiconductor devices,
Okay.
but exported only about $500 million.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty big difference.
Yeah, so that reliance on imports is a vulnerability that India is actively trying to address.
So this dependence on imports is something we really need to tackle.
Absolutely.
And that's where this potential partnership with Singapore
Yeah.
comes in, right?
It does.
What makes this collaboration so potentially game-changing? Why Singapore?
Well, Singapore is a true semiconductor powerhouse. They've got the experience, the infrastructure, the talent.
They're already doing it successfully.
Exactly. Just to give you a sense of their scale, the semiconductor sector makes up 8% of Singapore's GDP.
Wow.
They produce 10% of global output.
That's incredible.
And they're home to some of the biggest names in the global semiconductor industry.
So they've basically figured out the formula for success.
Yeah, they really have.
So Singapore's expertise could be a huge boost for India's aspirations. But what makes their expertise particularly relevant to India's needs right now?
Well, what's really interesting is that Singapore focuses on what we call mature node chips.
Mature node.
These chips are essential for things like automobiles and consumer electronics.
Okay, so not necessarily cutting edge?
Not the bleeding edge, no, but
essential.
those are areas where India can really make quick progress and start building momentum.
So mature node chips, they're not the flashiest, but they're the workhorses
Exactly.
of industries where India has huge potential for growth.
Absolutely. Think about it. India's automotive sector is massive, and it's only getting bigger.
Right.
By focusing on mature node chips, India can build up its domestic manufacturing for those key components that are in high demand right now.
So it's a smart strategy to focus on where we can make the biggest impact in the shortest time frame.
Exactly. It's about making strategic choices and capitalizing on existing strengths.
Okay, so India has the market potential, Singapore has the know-how. But what about India's strengths? What do we bring to the table in this partnership?
Well, for starters, India has an amazing pool of talented engineers, tons of STEM graduates.
A ready and eager workforce.
Absolutely. It's a workforce that's excited to be a part of this growing industry.
And we also have a cost advantage, right?
Absolutely. Lower labor and operational costs make India very attractive.
Especially in such a globally competitive industry.
Exactly. And you can't ignore the global context either.
What do you mean?
Well, as manufacturing continues to shift away from China, India is emerging as a really appealing alternative for companies that are looking to diversify their production.
So being in the right place at the right time.
Exactly. But India isn't just passively waiting. There are a lot of proactive initiatives in play.
Like what?
You've got the India Semiconductor Mission, the Semicon India program. These are all aimed at attracting investments and building up the industry.
It's about being ready to seize the opportunity.
Exactly. And then you've got strategic partnerships with the US, Japan, and the European Commission.
So it's a multi-pronged approach.
It is.
And we're already seeing some real-world examples of this proactive approach,
We are.
like the partnership between Powerchip Semiconductor from Taiwan and the Tata Group.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
They're setting up a semiconductor facility in Gujarat.
Exactly. That's a perfect illustration of how India is attracting investment and expertise.
And bringing in an experienced player like Powerchip could really speed up India's learning curve in this complex industry, right?
For sure. They're not starting from scratch. They're leveraging existing knowledge and best practices.
It's all about smart partnerships, playing to everyone's strengths.
Absolutely. It's a win-win.
This is fascinating stuff. We've covered a lot of ground already, from understanding what semiconductors are and why they matter, to India's market potential and the benefits of this Singapore collaboration. Let's take a quick pause here, and when we come back, we'll delve deeper into how this partnership can really take India to the next level. Okay, so we're back and ready to dig even deeper. We've talked about Singapore's expertise in the semiconductor world, particularly with those mature node chips.
Right, the ones that are essential for sectors where India has a lot of potential.
Exactly. So how can this partnership actually help India take its semiconductor game to the next level? What kind of concrete benefits can we expect to see?
Well, there are a few key areas where this collaboration could really make a difference. A big one is expanding manufacturing capabilities.
Right.
Indian companies could really benefit from Singapore's expertise in assembly and testing.
Right, because those are critical stages in the whole manufacturing process.
Exactly, and that's where Singapore really shines. They've got the facilities, the processes, it's all streamlined.
So it's like giving Indian companies a fast track, right? They get access to advanced facilities and processes that are already up and running.
Precisely, and that means they can get products to market much faster.
It also helps them avoid the huge costs and delays of building those facilities from scratch.
Exactly, that's a major barrier to entry in this industry.
So we're talking about saving time and money, which is always a good thing.
Always.
But what about the human element? How can this partnership help India develop the skilled workforce that it needs to really thrive in the semiconductor industry?
That's another key area where this collaboration can make a real impact. Talent development. Singapore's universities have top-notch programs in microelectronics and semiconductor engineering.
They're really at the forefront of this field.
They are. So imagine the possibilities if we had more joint research projects between our countries, student exchanges, maybe even specialized PhD programs designed to meet India's specific needs.
Oh, that would be amazing. A whole generation of Indian engineers trained to the highest global standards.
Exactly. Ready to lead the way in semiconductor innovation. And don't forget about the knowledge transfer.
What do you mean?
Well, having Indian engineers working side by side with experienced professionals in Singapore's semiconductor industry would be invaluable.
So it's about hands-on learning, real-world experience.
Precisely. It's the best way to accelerate the learning curve.
Okay, so we've got manufacturing, talent development. What else can India learn from Singapore's success in the semiconductor industry?
Singapore's model for industrial park development is something India can definitely learn from.
Oh, tell me more about that.
They have these things called wafer fab parks.
Wafer fab parks.
They're like special zones designed specifically for semiconductor manufacturing.
So everything's in one place.
Everything. State-of-the-art infrastructure, a streamlined regulatory environment, and a whole cluster of interconnected businesses that support the entire semiconductor ecosystem.
It sounds like they've really optimized the whole process.
They have. It's super efficient. And that kind of concentration of expertise and infrastructure is really attractive to global players.
I can see why.
India could definitely adapt that model, create its own semiconductor hubs that attract investments and encourage innovation.
So it's about creating a supportive ecosystem, not just about making chips.
Exactly. It's about thinking long-term, building a sustainable industry.
This is all bigger than just the tech sector, though, right?
Yeah.
What's the broader significance of semiconductor development for India's future?
This is where it gets really exciting. A thriving semiconductor industry isn't just about cool gadgets. It has huge implications for India's economic growth, its strategic independence, its position on the world stage.
Okay, unpack that for me.
Huh?
How exactly do semiconductors play into all of that?
Well, just imagine capturing a significant share of the trillion-dollar global semiconductor market.
That's a lot of money.
It is. That would mean massive economic growth for India, a major boost to its manufacturing sector, creating high-value jobs, boosting exports, becoming a global leader in this critical industry.
So it's about economic power, becoming a major player.
Absolutely. And that economic power translates into strategic independence.
What do you mean?
Semiconductors are at the heart of modern defense systems, secure communication networks, basically all of India's technological infrastructure.
So the more we can produce domestically, the less we have to rely on other countries.
Exactly. And that means greater security, more control over our own destiny.
That makes a lot of sense in today's world.
And then there's India's role in the global arena.
Right, the global piece.
A strong semiconductor sector would give India a much stronger position in global supply chains.
So it's a strategic asset that would increase India's influence and give it more leverage on the world stage.
Precisely. It's about being a leader, not a follower.
So semiconductors are really the foundation for a lot more than just electronics. It's about industrial growth, technological independence, global influence, and let's not forget about all those amazing technologies like AI, quantum computing, 5G.
Absolutely. Those are all powered by advanced semiconductors. By developing this sector, India is opening the door to incredible progress in just about every field imaginable.
It's like semiconductors are the key that unlocks a whole new era of possibilities.
I like that analogy. It's very fitting.
But we also need to be realistic. This is a fiercely competitive landscape, and there are bound to be challenges along the way.
Oh, for sure. No journey to success is without its obstacles.
So let's shift gears for a moment and take a closer look at the hurdles India needs to overcome to really achieve its semiconductor dreams.
Yeah, let's get real about the challenges.
Okay, let's dive into those challenges. What are some of the roadblocks India might face as it tries to become a semiconductor powerhouse?
Well, semiconductor manufacturing is a really capital-intensive process. We're talking huge investments.
Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart.
No, not at all. To give you an idea, the Semiconductor Price Index, which tracks the cost of these crucial components, it went up almost 5% in 2021,
Okay.
and then another 2.5% in 2022.
So the costs are going up.
They are. It shows just how much money is pouring into this sector globally.
So yeah, securing those financial resources for large-scale projects, that's going to be absolutely critical.
Absolutely. And on top of the financial hurdle, there's also a major talent shortage.
Okay, yeah, we need skilled workers.
Big time. The industry estimates that India is going to need over 1 million skilled professionals
Wow, 1 million.
by 2025.
That's a lot of people to train in a short amount of time.
It is. Finding and training that many experts in such a specialized field, that's a huge challenge.
It's a massive undertaking.
It is. And then there's the issue of access to advanced technology.
Okay, right, because we're not quite there yet in terms of having all the cutting-edge tech.
Not yet, no. Countries like Taiwan and South Korea, they really dominate the semiconductor ecosystem right now.
They're the big players.
They are, and they control some of the most critical technologies.
So catching up to them, that's no easy feat.
No, it's going to take a really strategic approach.
It's like a technological catch-22, right?
Yeah.
We need access to that advanced tech to compete.
Yes.
But gaining access is tough when you're not already a major player.
Exactly. But it's not impossible.
So how do we break through that barrier? What's the strategy?
Well, we have to focus on areas where we can really leapfrog ahead.
What do you mean?
Things like green semiconductor manufacturing, for example, or specialized chip design.
Okay, so finding our niche.
Yes, finding those areas where we can differentiate ourselves and become leaders.
So those are some pretty big challenges, no doubt.
They are.
But I'm sure India has some strategies in place to overcome these obstacles. What's the roadmap to success here? How do we make this happen?
Well, I think India has a real opportunity to become a major force in the global semiconductor landscape.
We have the potential.
Absolutely. And one of the most important things is education and training.
Okay, yeah, we've got to have the skilled workforce.
We need to be producing a steady stream of highly skilled graduates who are ready to jump into the semiconductor industry and make an impact.
And that means what? Expanding university programs.
Exactly. Partnering with global companies to develop industry-relevant curricula, providing those hands-on training experiences.
It's about equipping those future engineers with not just the theory, but the practical skills they need.
Absolutely. And we're already seeing some positive steps in that direction.
Like what?
Well, the Indian Institute of Science in Bengaluru has teamed up with TSMC, Taiwan's leading semiconductor manufacturer,
Oh, wow.
to offer specialized training programs.
That's a fantastic initiative.
It is. We need more collaborations like this to bridge the gap between academia and the industry.
It's about learning from the best.
Exactly. And another crucial area is indigenous chip design.
Okay, so developing our own designs here in India.
Precisely. We need to foster that innovation, establish more chip design centers, nurture semiconductor startups, create an environment where Indian talent can really shine.
I love that idea. India has so much creativity and ingenuity. It'd be amazing to see what Indian minds could achieve in chip design.
I agree. And we already have some great examples of Indian innovation in this space.
Oh, like what?
The Shakti processor, developed by IIT Madras,
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
it's a fantastic example of what India can do.
It's proof that we have the talent and the capability to create world-class technology.
Exactly. And to really support that growth, we need to strengthen the supply chain.
Okay, right, because right now we rely a lot on imports for various materials.
We do. Everything from raw materials to advanced packaging.
So we need to build up that domestic supply chain.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Attract investments in every stage of the production process.
So it's about creating a self-sufficient ecosystem within India.
Precisely. And to make all of this happen, we need to ensure there's enough funding.
Yeah, money makes the world go round.
It does, especially in the semiconductor world. One idea is to set up a sovereign semiconductor fund.
Okay, and what would that do?
This would be a dedicated pool of capital specifically for strategic investments in cutting-edge semiconductor technologies.
So it's a way to prioritize those technologies that are crucial for national security and technological independence.
Exactly. It's a way to show the world that India is serious about becoming a major player in this space.
I like it. It's bold, it's
Mm.
ambitious.
It is. And given India's geopolitical position, we should also be leveraging what's been called chip diplomacy.
Chip diplomacy, what's that?
It's about forging strategic partnerships with countries like Japan that have advanced semiconductor expertise.
It's win-win, right?
Exactly. We can accelerate technology transfer, gain access to valuable know-how. It's a smart strategy.
It's about building those bridges and learning from the best.
Exactly. And there's one more area where India has a real opportunity to shine.
Okay, tell me.
Green semiconductor manufacturing.
Sustainability.
Yes. We all know the semiconductor industry can be pretty energy intensive.
Yeah, it has an impact.
It does. So India could really focus on sustainable practices, reducing water usage, minimizing energy consumption, tackling the issue of chemical waste.
So it's about being a responsible player in the industry.
Exactly. And that would make India even more attractive to environmentally conscious companies.
It's a smart move. It aligns with global trends.
Absolutely. It's a win for India and a win for the planet.
Well, this has been an absolutely incredible deep dive. We've covered so much ground, from the basics of semiconductors to India's ambitious plans, the challenges, and the potential solutions.
We've really gone deep.
And aspiring civil servants, this information is pure gold for your UPSC exams.
It is. This kind of in-depth understanding is what sets you apart.
It shows that you can analyze complex issues, you can connect the dots, you're not just regurgitating facts, you're thinking critically.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So here's a final thought-provoking question for all of you listening. What other strategic collaborations could India explore to really accelerate its journey towards becoming a semiconductor superpower? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
I'd love to hear your ideas.
And if you found this deep dive valuable, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more UPSC-focused content. We're here to help you ace those exams.
Absolutely. We're in this together.
And a big shout out to The Hindu for their insightful article that provided the basis for today's discussion. Be sure to check it out for further reading.
Always great to have those solid sources.
All right, everyone, happy studying and best of luck with those exams. We'll see you in the next deep dive.
Until next time.